Hello everyone, Venris here. Today I would like to talk with you about the DLC Forge of the Chaos Dwarf, and we can call this video like a review of the DLC because I will be talking only about the DLC, not going to talk about 3.0 patch, and the form of this review will be more or less like a podcast, so the thing that you will be seeing on the screen won't be linking to the thing that I will be talking about. So let's hop into this topic, quite controversial topic, the monetary gain or overall how the price of the DLC was is the topic that I want to go on at the end because it's a big negative for me. But let's start with the positives around the overall about the DLC. So I would say that it's a good DLC. Chaos Dwarfs as a faction are a really good faction. They have very good resource systems, mechanic. They can be complicated, for some people even overcomplicated, especially if you compare them to the old factions. The the level of maybe not the complication, but overall how many systems they have is vastly different than the old factions. If you get a look on the faction like Lizardmen, especially in Vanilla or High Elves, there's like miles away from each other. And it's a good thing, it's a positive thing in one regard, because the faction, as I said, it's cool to play in campaign. It's very micro-intensive in the campaign map, on the map. Like no faction is as micro-intensive in the campaign, because you need to click, you need to check the resources, raw materials, the weapons, things, armaments, the Hashut Conclave. There's a lot of things to check. Labors each turn, a lot of clicking, different resources are for different buildings. It can be, as I was saying, overcomplicated at the beginning, but then when you're starting to sink it, you see where you are going, what settlements you should build, what buildings. It's kind of cool. I agree. I need to give this to the developers. It's cool. It's cool, really. In terms of the systems, everything is looking. The problem for me is with this topic is that it makes all the old factions very bland. Many things that Chaos Dwarfs have are very good. The problem is that most of their mechanics are reused from other stuff. Whole labor system, this is a big thing. What is a better system of slaves from Warhammer 2 Dark Elves? The problem was that this system was entirely scrapped for Warhammer 3, for Dark Elves. And now we need to pay for it to get it for Chaos Dwarfs. And I was like, whoa. This is strange. This is strange that we need to pay for something that we had previously. And Dark Elves were gutted because of it. Another thing is the convoys. The convoys overall are, the base of it is the same as the caravans. You're sending a convoy to a set location, and that's it. After a set amount of time, you're getting resources. There are two differences here. The big one first is that you can exchange materials. You're just not sending them to get gold. You can exchange materials for the benefits. And the second one is that technologies are buffing the convoys a lot and changing how the convoys are working and their overall strength and things like that. And that makes the convoy system, the overall thing, way better than it is for caravans. Same as with the labor system, it's way better than the slave for the Dark Elves. So, okay, it's a good and a bad thing. Other systems that we have a Hellforge. That is cool. Hellforge, people are saying that it's like a mix of workshop, the Skaven things like mutation. I semi-agree, but I think most of it is quite unique, how it is looking. It's an improvement on the old systems, like the beastman capacity increase, things like that. It's just better refined system. Hashut Tower, this is the only thing that is like fully unique for the faction, in terms of that you're getting the seats, and AI can also take the seats, and there's like effects But it's cool. Yeah, I think it's my favorite system for the Chaos Dwarf. So all the rest system besides the towers are just, let's call it, a refined system from all the factions, and I would be totally without any problems about those if the old system for those factions that they were based on would be also refined. So better capacity systems for the beastmen, dark elf slave system, yeah, and better caravans for the half-life. We don't have it. We sadly don't have it, but we shall see. Maybe in future. But this update overall, not only that DLC, was a big opportunity to do it. Yeah, but enough about the mechanics. We'll get to it in a bit. Other thing is that the roster, unit roster, the models, the sounds of models, they're all looking really amazing. I'm totally on it. The Kadai Destroyer and the Fireborn, very good looking models. The Dwarf Warriors, all of those are looking great for the DLC. Yeah, this is the top notch. The overall the quality of how units are looking with the DLCs are getting better and better. Especially regiments of the renown are always like my nitpick. I want to check, because in base game and in many DLCs they were just reskin, like not even a reskin. They just had a different color. Here we have different animations. We have different models. Those DLCs are ROR DLCs units are getting better and better. So this is great. Overall, as I was saying, the whole faction, in terms of a positive, they are complicated but not overcomplicated. They're having a very good roster. The mechanics are looking good, and they are micro-intensive on the campaign, which I really like. Let's get back to the things that are more problematic for me, and I would say even call them mostly negative. Because the thing with the mechanic and that they are reused, it's like a semi-positive, semi-negative, because as for this faction works, opportunity was wasted to buff the other faction, not even buff, but just to improve them. So first thing that I can talk about is I am a modder, so I know this game very well, and then this DLC is very bugged in a way that you won't notice it as you are starting the game. I will give you one simple example. Right now, Chaos Dwarfs, almost all of their buildings have a thing that if you damage them, that their values are not lowered, so not, let's say, called half them, they are not halved, they are increased. Normally, when building is damaged, then its value in most cases is like half the value, yeah. It's value. It's halved. So if you have 300 gold, then when you damage it with agent, it's for 150, things like that. But for Chaos Dwarfs, it's doubled. Someone really messed up those tables, and most of the buildings with landmarks can even more crazy. The landmarks that have upkeep reduction when they are damaged make units free. So yeah, that's the real crazy. I never saw such a big bugs in my 6 times of modding. Such a big bugs. I will not even call it a bug. It's sloppiness. It's a big sloppiness. Other thing, the forts, gauge, and bastions have no effects when you're occupying them with the Chaos Dwarfs, but they have normal 5 levels and normal garrisons. So it's not like with Wood Elves that they should, or Warriors of Chaos that they are level 1 and they should not have anything. They having everything besides the effect. Someone forgot to add them. Just like that. Other thing that I think many people were very concerned, because Creative Assembly were saying this a lot when the DLC was announced, that they will getting 3 Legendary Lords only. And there was post that we are getting 3 Legendary Lords only. Yes, but each of them will be very different. Different mechanics, things like that. None of this is in the DLC. I would even say that this is the least different Legendary Lords faction DLC we ever had in this game. Like, overall. For several reasons. Why I think it. First of all, their starting position, all of them are near each other. besides starting 25 turns, 50 turns, everything will be the same. Everything will be the same because you're taking Darklands. Of course, I understand it. You're taking Darklands, so why should you, starting in Wolf one? Okay, but the other thing is, the second reason is like the campaign effect for each legendary lords and their traits are horrendously bad, to the point that there is no any difference who you are starting to play with. They are horrendously bad. Things like that 10% increase of armaments, the armaments that you never lack in a campaign, it's nothing. Really. Those things are very bad. Like, especially getting to the last point, that we are getting this DLC for bigger price than usual. But Creative Assembly said that we are getting a legendary hero, so Gordus, Hobgoblin guy. He's such a disappointment. Wow. He's boring. He's really really weak in the campaign. Okay, he's buffing laborers, but that's his only thing that he's doing, and his abilities, besides the dice that effects are terrible, but the possibility for modding that you can randomize effects, he's really bad. Ulrika, the free DLC that we have, the one that I was also disappointed. I will be talking about them in a different video about the patch 3.0. She's way better. She's way more interesting on the campaign. Like, miles better. So, we got a free legendary lords that feel all the same, and a legendary hero that, if you're not using laborers, is totally useless as a hero. You don't even have any mission quest or the quest battle to get him. You're getting nothing. Like with Gorich in the DLC with the fraud, you were getting this cool battle to unlock him, and Gorich was crazy good hero, legendary hero. I don't like legendary heroes made by Creative Assembly, because I feel that most of them are really bad and boring. But damn, Gorich was fantastic. Gorich was crazy good, and the way how you were unlocking him was also good. So, this point overall about the legendary lords and this Gordus legendary hero, for me, is that you are not buying 4 campaigns. You're not buying even 3 campaigns. You're buying 1 campaign. I played the Astragoth campaign. In my first playthrough, it was around 120 turns, and then I started as Zatan, and I passed after 20 turns, because I didn't felt any difference, when with all the other factions I played everyone, and even those that were very bad, like in vanilla tic-tac-toe, things like that, there was some small things that was making them different to play. Gorok, in Warhammer 2 even, he was starting with Croak, and he had nothing else, but the starting with Croak was a really big difference in your campaign. Playing as Tic-Tac was with his right that was increasing the movement. Great addition, was really changing how you're playing, but it was a small addition that was great in terms of campaign gameplay. None of those 3 lords have those. Sorry for the run, but this is the thing that I think this is the biggest point in terms of the DLC content for me. That is very bad in the DLC Forge of the Chaos Dwarf. There is also a thing that many people were talking about. So, Realms of Chaos campaign with a drill of Hashut thing. Okay, so I would say that it's one of the worst campaign mechanics that they were doing for the DLCs. Few examples of it. First one is that it just simply go to the place X, take the settlement, or defeat the Lord, and it's all. You can pick then the item or for the faction 1 bonus, but there's no reason to take the items, especially that you want to finish the campaign and get the ultimate reward faster, so it's okay. The story, I would say it's totally lackluster. It have a very good cinematics, like the quality of cinematics increased a lot in Warhammer 3, because in like Warhammer 1 we had them on engine, Warhammer 2 we had them fully 2D painted, and Warhammer 3 we have 3D with 2D painted. So Warhammer 3 are the best looking cinematics, but besides that, I think it's boring. I stopped really caring about the battle, the story, and the final battle. God damn it, it's another survival battle. The thing that is very bad in this game, I hate survival battles in Warhammer 3. It has a very cool moment when there's reinforcements arriving for the enemy. I won't tell you who is it, but it's a cool moment if you like this faction, and that's it. The terrible thing is that the cutscene in the battle is great, but when the army appears, is like half the size, and they are dead on the halfway because you can shoot them. They are dying. There's no battle really. It was hilarious for me how bad it was. So yeah. I have also the one thing pointed by the SFO patrons. The garrisons are terrible. I agree that the garrisons are terrible for the faction, and I think that it's a big misstep for the whole faction. That it's not like it should be a faction weakness, but it's not improving in any way and making the whole faction worse to play. I would say so the negatives. Okay, so we were talking about the whole content, the thing, the bugs, the thing that I like, because as I said, I like the faction overall, even with those bugs that I mentioned and missteps like Legendary Lords. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. So price increase. I will say it out straight. I think that this DLC is overpriced. The $25 for this DLC is way too much. This is the price of an indie game, some even AAA games after their sales. And I think if you are not buying everything for Total War Warhammer, all the DLCs, you should not buy it. You shouldn't buy it. Why? Because I think that the price increase is not because of inflation. Don't tell me such a shit that this is because of inflation. No, Creative Assembly is not a company that have problems with money. No, they don't. They are hiring people. They are opening new studio recently. They don't have problems with money. Let's be honest about it. They don't have it. And the price increase for the DLC was because people will buy it, no matter the price. We, fans of Total War Warhammer, and Warhammer especially, we are simps of this game. Let's face it. We will buy no matter what they release. No matter what DLC will be, bad DLC, good DLC, we will buy it. The best example was Warhammer 3 overall as a game. This game, since launch still, I consider in a beta state. This is the early access game still for me. And no matter what, we will buy it. And I will complain about this game. I love it, but I'm so a simp. If someone will be asking me right now, seeing me playing the game, and asking me, Venus, should I play this game? You're playing it a lot. Maybe I will play it, I will have fun. And I will say, no, don't do it. Because you will sink to it, you will waste tons of money, and you will regret it. You wanna buy it? Buy Warhammer 2. The state of Warhammer 2 is still better than the state of Warhammer 3, in my opinion. Warhammer 3 is getting close. It's really close. I think we need one big update, proper update, because 3.0 was not a good update overall. I will be talking in the different video. But I don't think that is a good thing that Creative Assembly increased the price. I don't know if it's EA, Sega, or someone else. Increase the price. We got less content for more. If asking me what price I would pay normally for this DLC, I would say $15. So half, almost half, okay? 15, even 10 maybe, I have to say. Why? Because this is one campaign faction. This is not 4 or 3 campaign factions. This is one campaign faction. And this saddens me because the faction is great. I think it's the best made faction in the game right now. But there were no opportunities were taken to make this best DLC. Best DLC. The thing that I'm extremely happy is the fact that this DLC avoid the fact for what I hate Champions of Chaos. You remember I was making the first impressions video about the Champions of Chaos, and I was amazed. This is great, this is fantastic. But more I played, less I like it. And I think that Champions of Chaos, first of all, should be a free DLC for the terrible launch of Warhammer 3. And second, it's a bad DLC. Because it was never played past turn 50. The systems that were designed for Champions of Chaos are terrible. Warbound system makes you that you need to cycle tons of armies late the game, and it's boring to do it. And because of you have armies contained of 7, 8, 9, 10 unit types, you need to cycle through all those and check what unit can be upgraded with the warband system. Imagine having a labor panel, like the labor panel for Dawi Zharr, and you have lists of all armies with warbands, and just click on those units and you can upgrade all possible Marauders in all armies at once. This would be making Champions of Chaos a great DLC. And here, we don't have such a problems. Design standpoint, this is great, fantastic DLC. I'm modding this game for over 6 years, so a lot of things in terms of the gameplay and also in the tables, I think this faction is fantastic in terms of how it was designed, but it's overpriced. It's a one campaign DLC, and even that I love it, I think that you should wait for a sale, because we should not allow for such a price increase for something that, yes, it's great, but it's overpriced. This is not the full content. People are saying that but this faction is better than Tomb Kings or Vampire Coast. Yes, this faction is better, but those DLCs were, first of all, cheaper, and for Legendary Lords. That maybe not vastly different in terms of gameplay, but they were different. There are no differences. Yeah, okay, I was triggered a lot, but overall, I would say it. I like the DLC. If you are playing this DLC and have fun, then yes, then I'm all happy for you. But the thing is that we should not allow game companies to increase the price and shadow themselves behind the wall of inflation. The same situation right now is happening with Sony. Sony is increasing the prices of PlayStation, their games, when company have records in terms of revenue every year. Records for 20, 30 years back. Inflation is not doing it. It's not making that the company has a problems. No, this is anti-consuming thing, and this DLC price is also anti-consumer. Yeah. That will be all in this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like the video. And god damn it, that was very emotional for me. As I said, I like the DLC, but yeah, I would wait for sale if you don't want to spend $25 for it right now. And right now I'm getting back to SFO because someone need to do an update about Dawi Zharr. And it's out.